Hello everyone, this is Pallavi. I'm going to discuss about antibiotics. It's very interesting chapter of mine as well as little complicated also. I made it in simpler way and then I'll explain in simpler way. Hope you understand this topic. So in this presentation I will talk about introduction of antibiotic and some properties of antibiotics and then how antibiotic will kill the microorganisms in different way. So that are the mechanisms I'm going to discuss. In the next presentation I'll discuss about the drug resistance, how bacteria will fight against the antibiotic to protect itself, and in finally I will discuss about how we can find out the antibiotic sensitivity by doing antibiotic sensitivity test. So very interested chapter, but it is quite lengthier as well as it's quite complicated, but I made very simpler way. Hope you understand. So if you want to know more and more my topic, please subscribe my channel, YouTube channel Micro Buddies, the Micro World. I will upload more and more topics. Suppose if you are recommending any topic, please put it in my comment so I can go through that, which one you feel it is complicated, you want to learn from your side. Okay, so let's start with the topic. What is antibiotic? Anti means what? Against. Biotic means living. So that means you are applying this substance to kill some living organisms, especially for the microorganisms. So let's see the definition. These are actually naturally available antimicrobial agent. So and it is produced mainly by the microorganisms. Sometimes it is chemically synthesized to kill another microorganisms with small concentration. Small concentration why we are applying is so because you cannot apply with the higher concentration with the ml or liter. With the light milligram capability has to ability to kill the microorganisms, or it has to inhibit the growth of that microorganisms. These are all nothing but naturally preparing. Sometime it will go for the chemically synthesized preparation. So depending on the type of organisms that you are applying this antibiotic, we can call it as the antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal, antiparasitic, antiviral. So these are the names you can apply based on the microorganisms that you are applying. Next is sensitivity and resistance. These two words are very important. There should not be any confusion. When you apply that antibiotic to the particular microorganisms, if it is killed or inhibited its growth, then we will say that bacteria is or antibiotic is sensitive to that bacteria, that you can give it to those particular bacteria or whatever microorganism. What is resistant? When you apply that antibiotic, that if the microorganisms doesn't respond, then we will say that it is resistant, that bacteria is resistant to that antibiotic that we cannot apply. So properties, suppose you I found out some antibiotic and you will think that bacteria, that antibiotic will kill this bacteria, then you will think you can apply to the patient. No, you cannot do like that. There will be some properties. So when you apply that antibiotic, it should act in vivo. In vivo means inside the body. There will be most of the antibiotic or some other medicines or whatever component, there will be difference in the action at outside the body and inside the body. That and all you should correlate. So there are so many, and then there are so many things are that you should note down before applying those antibiotics. So concentration of those antibiotic, and then whether that particular region it will target or not. That means suppose wound infection, you are giving some kind of antibiotic, whether it will target that wound area or whether it will goes to that urinary tract infection if you want to apply over there, or it is like you are going for the cerebrospinal region there, and if you are applying, whether it will pass through that, everything you have to note it. So these are all points important. So we'll see one by one properties. One is it should be in active form. That means after taking inside the body, it should be in active form to kill the microorganism. How can we apply it? You can achieve through the pharmacodynamic design of the drug. Here the route of inhalation or ingestion is very important. Some antibiotic you can take orally, that will work out. Some antibiotic you have to take intradermally or intramuscularly or intravenously. Suppose those antibiotic if you take orally, it will not work out. So these are the some things are there. And then concentration. So if you are giving less concentration for each antibiotic, that concentration is very different. Some antibiotic you can give with the 5 milligram, if some will give 500 milligram, some will be 250 milligram. So like that concentration you are applying. So because that are the concentration which will achieve to kill the microorganism, that is the reason we are giving with the particular concentration. That should be noted properly. Next one is they must be able to achieve sufficient level or concentration at the site of infection. As I told you before, suppose patient has urinary tract infection, you are giving one antibiotic. So it has capability to go through that urinary tract and then it has to show its action over there. Then only you can apply that antibiotic, otherwise you cannot. So these are the things you have to point it one. It depends on the pharmacokinetic properties of the agent. So in the pharmacokinetic they will look for all this concentration, how much concentration we can apply, all this done by the pharmacological part will be applied here. So and there should be a direct interaction between antibacterial agent as well as the bacterial cell or microbial cell. So in between there should not be any like agent, something like this should not be there. It should be directly act on that particular microorganisms. So I'll continue with the topic of the bacterial. So I will use example as a bacterial only. So antibiotic action may be bacteriostatic or bactericidal. That means bacteriostatic means it will inhibit the growth of the bacteria. Bacteriocidal means it will kill the bacteria. There are two differences are there. Inhibition of the growth, another one is killing of the bacteria. These two words are very important. Some antibiotic will inhibit the growth, that means inhibition of the multiplication. Another one is the bactericidal, that means it will kill the bacteria. So these are the some properties we have to look for. Next one is the spectrum of activity. So you know that there are so many bacteria, the gram positive bacteria is there, gram negative bacteria is there. So every antibiotic you can apply, you cannot apply to both two. There will be some range of action, that is called a spectrum of activity. So that means the type of bacteria against which a particular antimicrobial agent does or doesn't have activity. That means when you apply that antibiotic, it may or may not act on wide range of the bacteria, that it is called it as the spectrum of activity. So based on spectrum of activity, antibiotics can be classified into two types. One is narrow spectrum of antibiotic, another one is the broad spectrum of antibiotic. Narrow means it will act on only particular bacteria. That means some antibiotic like vancomycin you can apply only for the gram positive cocci. You cannot apply to the gram negative bacilli. There are the reason are there, I will explain in the next part. So that is called it as narrow spectrum of antibiotic. Wide spectrum means it can act on both the type. So that and called it as the wide spectrum or broad spectrum of the antibiotics. So let's start with mechanism of action of antimicrobial agent, how it will work. There are the many routes are there. All antibiotic will not work on the microorganism in the same way. Means it will inhibit there are many sites. Some antibiotic will affect on the bacterial cell wall, some will on the cell membrane, some will be on DNA. So these are the some site it will target on the bacterial cell and it will kill the microorganism. First we will talk about the inhibition of cell wall synthesis. The example for these kind of antibiotics are beta-lactam antibiotics. So beta-lactam antibiotics are 4-membered nitrogen containing beta-lactam ring at the core of the structure. That means nitrogen will be at the 4 corners and center it will contain beta-lactam ring. So how it kill the microorganisms or bacteria? It will kill the bacteria by disrupting the cell wall synthesis. So it will directly attach to the cell wall, there it will be attached to the protein binding penicillin binding protein. So it will attach to the penicillin binding protein, and then there will be inhibition of the or the changes in the cell wall synthesis. What will happen when it binds to the that enzyme? One, it will produces, usually this penicillin binding protein will be involved in the cross linking of the cell wall. What does it do? Whenever this antibiotic will attach to that PBP, what will happen? There will be an instability in the synthesis. There will be faulty synthesis happen. That cross linking will happen, fault linking will start to happen. So that is what cell wall synthesis will not happen in proper way, or otherwise it will produce some series of reaction that finally trigger the or finally lost the proper event of the cell wall synthesis. Finally bacteria will die. So hope you got little bit confusion. So very simple, simple way it is. Here what will happen? Cell wall beta lactam antibiotic, it will bind to the penicillin binding protein. When it will affect to the penicillin binding protein, what will happen? It produces the faulty synthesis of the bacterial cell wall, or what will do means there will be a changes in the event of the cell wall synthesis, finally disrupt the cell wall synthesis. So in this two way, this antibiotic will kill the bacteria. So what are the some beta lactam antibiotic? There are many antibiotics are there. One is the penicillin class. So under penicillin class there are so many antibiotics are there, like penicillin, ampicillin, piperacillin, methicillin. These are the some examples. Another one is the cephalosporin class. Cephalosporin class also there are so many are there. Cefoxitin, cefepime, ceftriaxone, cefuroxime. These are the antibiotics are there. And under monobactam like aztreonam is there. Carbapenems like imipenem, meropenem, ertapenem. These are the some examples for this beta lactam antibiotics. So in this beta lactam antibiotics also there are the generations are there. First level, second level and third level based on its dose. First level means low dose. If it is first level with low dose are very sensitive, then you no need to go for the second level or the third level or third generation of the antibiotic. Suppose first level of antibiotic with low concentration is resistant, then you will go for the second level of the antibiotic you can use with little higher dose, and third level is more higher dose, and fourth is very higher dose. So these and all depending on the patient clinical condition and the clinical status of the patient, they will the clinician will decide which one will give to the patient. So these are the some example what I have explained for the cell wall synthesis inhibitors of antibiotic. Next one is glycopeptides. Glycopeptides example is vancomycin antibiotic. What does it do means this also will kill the bacterial cell wall. How it kills means precursor cells it will affect. So when we give an vancomycin, it will affect to the precursor cell of that cell wall synthesis, and then finally bacteria will die. So and then vancomycin will affect only to the gram positive bacteria, means cocci. It won't affect to the gram negative bacilli because of its larger size. It may not penetrate into the gram negative bacilli. So that is the reason you cannot give vancomycin to the gram negative bacteria. Next one is the inhibition of cell membrane synthesis. So now cell wall synthesis inhibitors over. There are two antibiotics we discussed about. One is beta lactam antibiotic, another one is glycopeptide. Now I am talking about the inhibition of cell membrane synthesis. So that means this antibiotic easily will penetrate through the cell wall. It won't affect to the cell wall of the bacteria. But when it comes to the cell membrane, it will disrupt the cell membrane and then it will kill the bacteria. The good example is daptomycin. It will be, this also has a narrow spectrum of activity. It will affect only for the gram positive bacteria, usually applied for the methicillin resistant staphylococcus aureus or vancomycin resistant enterococci. This is one of the drug of choice. Next one is protein synthesis. Protein synthesis, how it happens with the ribosome. The ribosome has two subunit. One is 30S and one is the 50S subunits. So let's see the what are the antibiotic which will affect to the 30S subunit of the ribosome or protein synthesis. So one best example or the common example for the protein synthesis inhibitors are the aminoglycosides. It has so many antibiotics under this, like gentamicin, amikacin, netilmicin. These are the examples. Based on the action, on its action, it will segregate and give it to the bacteria based on its action on gram positive or gram negative bacteria, and then it has been mentioned as like a wide spectrum of activity. That means these all antibiotic like aminoglycoside group, tetracycline or glycines, these all will have a wide spectrum of activity. That means you can apply it into the both gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Second one is the which will affect to the 50S subunits. So these are like macrolide, lincosamide, streptomycin group, like erythromycin, azithromycin. These are the some examples, some ketolates and chloramphenicol antibiotic, and finally the linezolid. So linezolid also will affect to the protein synthesis, but exact factor doesn't know till now. So it is like some unique character it has, and then it will kill the bacteria by inhibiting the protein synthesis, but mechanism not yet known. Next one is the inhibitors of DNA and RNA synthesis. Example for is this is the fluoroquinolones and the quinolone groups. So these are what will do is it will affect to the DNA gyrase enzymes, and then it will regulate the bacterial supercoiling. This will be very essential for the bacteria replication of the DNA as well as the transcription of the DNA. So these antibiotics also have broad spectrum of activity. Next, another group under this is the metronidazole. This mechanism also not known properly, but still considered that as it will affect the DNA and then breakage of the DNA strand. It will activate it only to the anaerobic bacteria, because for this activation it requires low redox potential. It will available only under the anaerobic bacterial conditions. So that is the reason you cannot apply to the aerobic bacteria. Third thing is the rifampicin or the rifampin. So it will bind to the DNA dependent RNA polymerase, and it will affect to the RNA synthesis. So these are the some examples for the genetic material effect of that antibiotics, some antibiotics. So next one is the inhibitors of other metabolic processes. For example, sulfonamides. So this will affect to the dihydrotorate synthase and disrupt the folic acid pathway. This is very important for the DNA structure. Unless this folic acid pathway happen, DNA structure may not be maintained. So this antibiotic will affect to that pathway. And some other compound like trimethoprime, this also will be work in the same way as like sulfonamides. And then nitrofurantoin mainly will give for the urinary tract infection, but it's a proper action not known properly, but still it also affect to the DNA. So this is about the bacteria antibiotic action on the bacteria. I think you have been understood. I will continue how bacteria will shows now its action on the antibiotics. So now these are the different way antibiotics are working on the bacteria. Now for its protection, how bacteria will shows its activity on the antibiotic. So and that cases how we can escape from that resistant pattern will discuss in the drug resistance. So that I will discuss in the next presentation. Thank you so much. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel. If you want to explain from my side any other new topic, please put it in a comment. I will go through that, and then I will make a note of that, and then I will prepare for the presentation. Thank you so much.